Okay, today we're going to try and fix a GCE Arcade Time Watch. The General Consumer Electronics Company bought this watch out along with the Game Time and the Sports Time Watch in 1982. Very, very popular watches. They're very popular today. A working model like this normally sells for around $200 to $300. This one just over $100 because the description says not working, used for parts or restoration. If we scroll down to the description, we can see that again says for parts or restoration untested. Normally that's a bit of a red flag. If people sell a lot of watches and they say untested in their ads, normally it means they have put a battery in, didn't work, so they're trying to get as much money as they can for it. This one, the seller doesn't sell that many watches. In fact, they sell just a whole lot of old stuff, and from what I've read in the other descriptions, they don't really tend to test or put batteries in their watches because most of the descriptions of the watches are exactly this. So I thought it was worth a punt. Someone's asked a question there saying where the band attaches to the black part, is there any cracking to the black plastic? And all the GCE watches, this was a major. The straps don't have pins in them, they just slide in and out. If you slide them in and out too roughly, the plastic which holds them in does crack, and if you crack it and lose it, there's really no way of making a nice repair to it. There's ways you can make bodged repairs and you can kind of make it work, but there's no way to get the lovely finish that there is. And so a lot of GCE watches, second-hand ones that you see, will have cracking along the black plastic, and it will either have been glued up somehow or just be sitting there without a band in it. So to get one with no cracking is fantastic. The seller says the watch looks amazing cosmetically, but it doesn't work. It's been sitting for a long time, stored nicely in a desk. At the very least, I'm sure it needs a battery. So we'll see. We'll take a look. Just having a look at the photos. It is in nice condition. It is all genuine too. The Arcade Time came with a gold buckle. The Sports Time had a silver buckle, and the Game Time had a plastic buckle. So this is all originally. The way the strap is looking at the moment indicates that it wasn't really worn very much, and probably was stored on a desk or just kind of kept and not really worn. There's a little bit of pitting to the bracelet, to the buckle, but not very much to the watch itself. So he's right, cosmetically it is in great condition, and hopefully we can get it working. If you look on the back there, the screw's missing from the back. That's a bit of a telltale sign someone's tried to get into it, along with the hacking marks at the bottom and the top of the case where someone's tried to open it up to change the battery. The mistake they made is that this isn't where you open the Arcade Time up to change the battery. You do it from the top of the watch instead. Fortunately, this scratching is on the back of the watch, and we'll clean it up with a little bit of sanding with an emery board and a buffer just to try and take the worst of that scratching away. But as long as the top of the watch looks okay, then it should be fine. And I do have a spare screw for that, harvested from a Casio calculator, which used the same thread, which was a bit of a bonus because an original GCE screw would be very hard to get now. Again, you can see more of the scratching where they tried to open the back from the wrong place. That pin at the top of the watch, it's on the top left-hand side when you're looking at the watch front on, and this picture is at the top. You pull that pin out to activate the watch when you first buy it. If you ever got one of these in the 1980s, chances are that pin just would have been lying loose on the bottom of the box so that the display would already be going when you bought it from the shop. If it's still in there, the watch isn't going to go. Basically, that breaks the circuit. So these days, newer games, there's normally just a little bit of plastic that they slide between the two batteries, and you pull that and it starts it going. In the old days, like this, they actually had a pin which jammed into the side of the watch, which broke the circuit, and removing that pin completes the circuit and the display can work. So we'll take a look at that. Looks great from the front, and look forward to getting started on it. So let's unbox and get underway. Okay, let's open it up and see what we've got. It's like Christmas. And here it is. Well, first impression is that the seller definitely wasn't kidding about the condition of the watch. It really is in lovely condition, and the photos didn't really do it justice. Looks great. Let's look on the back there and check those scratches out. Yeah, they're not terrible. I've seen worse, that's for sure. Well, I guess we could pop the pin take a punt. No, we weren't quite that lucky. And to be honest, I didn't think we'd be able to get in that easily either. Now, for now, we'll remove the straps. And we'll open it up and take a look. There we are. So it's more of a just a squeeze and a pull. And you can see how easily the end gets munched up if it hasn't been taken apart properly. Look inside. Looks great. There's no corrosion damage. No problems there. Now at the same time that I ordered the watch, that I won the watch, I also ordered some good batteries. If you're going to repair a watch, you really shouldn't muck around with low cost, low quality batteries, because they're not going to do your watch any good. And if it's a watch that needs repair, then often having a dodgy battery can be half the problem as well. So I go with Renata batteries. I think they're great, and these are silver oxide batteries, so the SR43SW as opposed to the lithium ion ones. So let's open a couple of these up. And unlike calculators at the time, where it was always both batteries down, this one is one battery up, one battery down. So you can see the plus there and the minus over there. So the positive side goes down for this battery, and the negative side goes down for this battery. And then you see there that the pin in the back will join them both together. So if we just pop them on there and have a quick look, there it is, running, and running perfectly by the looks. So we'll put this back together, and we'll do it so that there will be as little damage as possible to the top of it. This end is pretty good, this end is a bit rubbish, so let's see if we can put this on without causing too much problem. And if you look at this end, there's a few scratches there where they've been tried to pull it up as well. So let's pop it back on. Let's go to the bottom first, and then the top, and we'll give the top a bit of help. There we go, all clipped in. Game 1, Game 2, Game 3, Game 4. Looks great, cycling through. Just to demonstrate to you again what this pin did when it was in the box. If you push it in, we put it back in there, it'll break the circuit. So this is a good way to preserve the battery, and it was sitting on a shelf for a long time, waiting to be sold, and then as soon as you bought it, you could pull the pin, and there you go, out it comes. The GCE Arcade Time Watch, fixed, too easy. And the last thing, which I forgot to do, is to replace the screw in the back, the missing screw. This one came out of the Casio, one of the early 1980s calculators, one of the MG series, which were game calculators. Uses the same thread and is pretty much identical to the original. So there we go. Arcade Time, all back together, all set to go.